Hello everyone, welcome to a Titanovix deck tech video. Today we're going to be checking out a transition from playing on an app like MTG Arena and playing in a format which is called Brawl now. It used to be called Historic Brawl. It's called Brawl, and that's a singleton format. It's a 100-card format. It would be considered an eternal format. It's a unique format in that you can play a variety of cards from Magic's history, including alchemy cards too, which are digital-only cards. So a little comment about that, in case you're just wondering, is that when I build decks on MTG Arena in the Brawl format, I do not play alchemy cards. The meaning behind that is that I'm just trying to find decks that I can basically seamlessly transition over into a paper format. And I lose a little bit in the power level. That's okay. And we lose to alchemy cards. It's just part of the game. Like, the cards are extremely powerful. I do notice I don't get matched up too often against them, but I do find that I do definitely play against alchemy cards from time to time. So what I've done with this particular deck is I'm going to kind of bring you through the process of starting with a historical Brawl deck and then moving it to a paper format. So I have the deck here all kind of lined up here. The I guess you would say the EDH version is laid out here, and then I can kind of just go over the parts of this here just like this. So we have the historical Brawl to EDH. Okay, so some of the cuts that I've made from the Brawl format is we've cut an Impa Call as that a Boros creature. It's a very nice card, there's no doubt about it. We've also cut Giver of Runes in a 1v1 format. Like Giver of Runes becomes pretty powerful, right? Like, it's gonna like keep our commander safe from spot removal and such. So like playing like a Skrelv and a Giver of Runes is definitely more important. And I'll kind of go into a little detail why I keep Skrelv in versus the Giver of Runes, and there is a purpose for it. Okay, so additionally we cut Rod out of the Heart of Kel. That's a Gruul creature that helps, it plays lands off the top of our deck. Targnar, that's another creature, is definitely good in the 1v1 format. Maybe not as good in the Commander, but definitely gets the job going in like a 1v1, can get really on the offensive. Last March of the Ents, that's kind of one we're still going to be like kind of floating in between, but I think for the most part, we're going to have enough card advantage. I believe in the Brawl version, we don't play the One Ring. It's nerfed in that format, so we do find the One Ring in our EDH version. There's no doubt it's just fantastic, right? And we get so much cards off of it. Lightning Helix, we're also going to be getting rid of that card as well. We're going to be finding, we'll kind of get into what we're going to be finding in favor for that. And we're going to lose the Cultivate and the Entis Restoration. We have access to some nice lower cost ramp spells, like in 3 visits. And additionally, we also have Nature's Lore. Those are just nice 2-mana spells that can bring in untapped forests, which would be very nice. We're also cutting Cold Steel Heart, Arcane Signet. You could play, I think it's called Into the North in the Historic Brawl. You'd have to change all your like basics to snow-covered lands, and I don't think we play enough basics in here anyways. For that format, I mean, I suppose we could, if we wanted to be very, optimized, we could probably find it Into the North over like a Cold Steel Heart, Arcane Signet. We just never really bothered to do that, but I don't even think we played any really basics in the Brawl version. Additionally, the channel lands, we're going to be running all of the fetch lands, including like Prismatic Vista. So the channel lands kind of, I mean, Boseiju is so good, and we'll see how it goes. Like, we'll always think about Boseiju. It's just an amazing channel land. But I really prefer Otawara in this particular deck, just just for the bouncing. We can use it for our own commander, kind of preserve the commander if we need to, or maybe bounce something problematic on the battlefield. I really like Ottawa in this particular build. So, all right. So additionally, when we're transitioning, what cards are not on Arena, right? So for instance, the fast mana, like Soul Ring. Soul Ring we don't have access to, so we're gonna find a Soul Ring, of course. So just basically, we're gonna be benefiting. We're gonna get a little bit more speed. So adding Soul Ring is gonna help. Lotus Petal is gonna be that fast mana. That's just a very like we're not gonna be recurring. We're not gonna really be abusing it. We're just going to get that nice little like treasure acceleration for free, which is just kind of a nice inclusion to kind of get us to a faster start. It's all about speed and EDH, kind of getting into more of a speedy kind of game plan. Fourth, Iralingus, that's another one we can include now. When we're playing in the paper format, we have access to that card. Derevi, Empirical Tactician, is another card that's going to be just obnoxious with cards like Savala, Fabro Elder, and Bloom Tender. Just the ability to basically have that Derevi come down and untap one of those creatures and continue our turn. We can get into a loop where we're just really exploiting Aragorn's like maybe 3 damage to face ability. It could just be fantastic explosive turns. So Derevi is good here. Additional Leyline Binding. We are playing all the fetch lands. I don't have all the wild cards, to get all the fetch lands. I was able to get a few just for popping some packs. So we could actually probably play Leyline Binding in the Brawl version. It's just that I didn't have all the, my mana base wasn't entirely there, I would say. But we can definitely do a Leyline Binding for this. There is no doubt about it into our regular paper deck. We're going to have all the fetch lands. We're going to have all the shock lands. We're going to have all the triomes. It's going to be great. Birds of Paradise, just a great mana dork, especially also Noble Hierarch, just another mana dork, and the One Ring. Fantastic. So some of the cards that I still need to purchase, you won't see them in this this deck tech, but we are gonna still require Angel Fire Ignition, a Dovin's Veto, a Smothering Tithe, Avacyn's Pilgrim, a Noble Hierarch, a Tamiyo Thief Keeping. I might have this in my bulk, so I might just check that. I probably do. So I might have I think I have a good Kamigawa, good enough. I popped enough packs, so probably have it. Skrelv, we'll need another Skrelv, and then a Ruby Daring Tracker. This is a very cool card from I think it's from Eldraine. So we'll definitely be picking up her Ruby as well. So what do we learn about this process? And what I'll do also is I'll include the Arena Brawl deck, the original, so you can kind of look at it and the comparison. It's all going to be on Moxfield. So kind of what we learned with going into like a paper format as everything gets better. So from the Arena client is great. You get a lot of, you get a great card pool. There's no doubt. And it's cheap, right? It's like, I don't spend really any money at all. I just play like a lot of Brawl, and I acquire all the gold, and I pop packs. I get to see new cards. I've built up my, collection over the years. I've definitely spent money on it before, and sometimes I will, but it's the payment. I'm basically like free to play at this time. Sometimes I'll spend like, every month or two, maybe I'll spend like $20, but that's about it. Maybe I'll buy like the 4 rare wild cards or 4 mythic wild cards if I really am going for something, but it's not so bad. So everything gets better in the paper experience. The in-person experience becomes even more seamless. That's definitely for sure, especially in a multicolored commander, right? But you do need money. You need money to spend monies on like fetch lands, shock lands, the mana base, and like a multicolored commander, especially like Aragorn, like a 4-color commander. It's going to be a little bit pricey. So, and getting into like a 3-color, 4-color commander, you're going to have to imagine that you're going to be spending some money on your mana base, quite a little dough there. So just be prepared. Also, additionally, the card quality just goes up, right? Access to Soul Ring, access to like Lotus Petal, and additionally, you can just keep gear it up a notch, right? We can lose some of these dorks. We could find mana crypts. We could find, whatever the hell else we need. Anything else related to fast mana, we can, keep going with that. I mean, those cards are just available. Jeweled Lotus won't work for this one specifically because Aragorn is a 4-color commander, so it won't benefit from that particular card. But so that maybe kind of puts him back just a little bit. So you have to maybe find maybe a couple more creative ways to, get that fast mana. But yeah, I mean, overall, the deck is fine. And yeah, it's very exciting stuff. So let's check it out. Let's see what's going on here exactly. So what I've done is I just kind of, obviously this is our commander here. So Aragorn the Uniter. It's the red, green, white, and blue. And it is a legendary creature, human noble. Whenever you cast a white spell, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever you cast a blue spell, scry 2. Whenever you cast a red spell, Aragorn the Uniter deals 3 damage to target opponent. Whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets 4/4 until end of turn. So when I'm on Arena, I'd say I usually kill people with the deal 3 damage to target opponent, just going face. I'd say probably the game plan is pretty linear, though going into a paper format, like a 4-person pod. The major difference is that we're going to be basically taking people out with commander damage in the 4v4 format. Basically getting Aragorn to a sufficient power level, and then swinging with Aragorn for lethal commander damage is usually the way we're going to win. I'd say probably 85% of the time is through that means. So, but we still want to do the same things, whether it's in the 1v1 format or the three player versus format. And I say you want to find the shapeshifters. Those are very, very key cards. Copying Aragorn either with a Spark Double or a Sakashima, or getting to Vesuvian Duplimancy and starting creating copies of Aragorn by targeting him with single target copy spells. That's really going to make this deck go. So the pretty much it's the same game plan, except in the three or the commander format. We're going to be going for that commander lethal against our opponents. So the majority of the deck, there's 26 creatures in this deck, so we can just kind of go through them. They're just wonderful. This Bloom Tender is just amazing, right? That it can just produce like one color, like for each colors amongst permanents we control. So with an Aragorn on the battlefield, we just tap for 4, and we can add 1 mana of that color. So it's just amazing. We can just get so much variety of mana from it. General Ferris Rocker, this is a card that's not available on Arena. This is like a Modern Horizons card. So this card is just fantastic for multicolored spells. The more multicolored spells, the more golems we're creating. It's just kind of a wild card. Here's Derevi. This is another card that's not available on Arena. So you can see like we're transitioning to like a little more higher power level. We're getting cards that can exploit some of our creatures, like the Bloom Tender, like the Derevi. For instance, the Derevi comes on the battlefield, it untaps our Bloom Tender that we've tapped from mana already, and then we get to do it all over again. Maybe again once we swing. So very powerful. Klothys is just a very cool graveyard hate, and I can ramp too as well, so that's very nice for us. Xenagos, just a very cool creature card. It's going to help boost our Aragorn, get it to very strong powers, and we can get in for that commander lethal. And it gives it haste too. Creatures during pre-combat will give a creature that buff and haste. Here's an elf. So we have the kind of the mana dorks here, and we'll talk a little bit about that. We have a good amount of here. They're very strong. They're definitely a priority for us. Tireless Provisioner. So we're gonna have like so many fetch lands in here, so it's just nice to play like Tireless Provisioner. We also have an Oracle Moldiah. Ragavan, just a great one drop. Here's our Shapeshifter, Spark Double. Hajar is just a fantastic. It's perfect for our Bard class too. These legendaries with red green, definitely, so good. Omnath, oh my god, just what a card. Aragorn and Omnath, we've talked about the best buddies before, but they are best buddies and they're just fantastic together. It's just amazing. Lotus Cobra, Birds of Paradise. There's our Shapeshifter and this kind of going with our landfall synergy once again. Oracle, Goldspan, Uro, Jetmir, what a boss. This Jetmir just gets in there. Fabro Elder. And then, so this is again just like our Bloom Tender. So the cards that we are missing from here, we're definitely missing a Sylvala. That wasn't in this pile yet, but we love Sylvala for Aragorn. You can just imagine Sylvala getting in here and just getting really strong. So additionally, Ruby, the Daring Tracker, Skrelv, and the Noble Hierarch. So yeah, we're gonna be rounding it out with those. So yeah, all in all, just absolutely fantastic. We may have to make a cut, like because I really do want to play. I really want to have the mana dorks there, and I really want Sylvala too. So overall, we might actually have to make a cut from these creatures. So it might be harder. It could be like Klothys, to be honest, because we do like ramp. We do definitely like that Klothys gives ramp, but I just have to like kind of think this one over. Hajar is just very good protection. So, and I really have a priority for the mana dorks as well. I think it might be pretty clear cut. I don't know though. It's very difficult to pick. I mean, the power level of the General Ferris Rocker just seems so good too. Just making like a lot of bodies. Is that where we want to be? I think so. But we definitely will have to have a Sylvala. So that is the creature pile there. What's next? So we do creatures, then I suppose we skip planeswalkers. Usually we got those at the top, right? So we got Minsk and Boo and Domri. I just love both of these planeswalkers very much. This one's fantastic because it's +1 will give it'll add mana, and our creature spells you cast this turn can't be countered, and it gives all our creatures a buff. It's a fantastic planeswalker. Then it also has this fight ability too, where you can activate it for the fight ability. Really though, that uncounter ability is really great. Minsk and Boo, just another crazy card that is very well priced at 4 mana. You get like a 4/4 trample haste out of it. You can kind of keep exercising that +1. Perhaps you're ready to draw many cards off of that boo token, then that's something that you could think, and maybe you want to draw 4, maybe you want to draw 7. It just depends. So it's a very interesting card. There's no doubt. Okay, so those are the planeswalkers, and now we have our instance here. So we just have a nice lightning bolt here. March of Swirling Mist. This is just a nice one to phase out creatures, like a villain's board, or maybe a board of yourself. It's very interesting. Eldamri's Call. This is just will help us like tutor up for one of our combo creatures, that we just love. Like for instance, Omnath. Enlightened Tutor. This can find our Bard class or our One Ring. Just depends. Galvanic Iteration. This will double all our instants and sorceries for the turn. It's a fantastic card, and we can flash it back. Growth Spiral, just another sweet card that will draw a card. We can do it at instant speed and put a land from our hand onto the battlefield instantly. Big Score. Ooh, I love Big Score. Really good. Just keeps the gas going. Gives you cards to loot into your graveyard, or card to put in your graveyard. You draw 2. It's really nice. Reprieve for a card and just returning a spell to its owner's hand. Swords, good removal. Worldly Tutor. This is just a nice one. We'll put the creature at the top of our deck. Fantastic at instant speed. We can find those Bloom Tenders. We can find those Fabro Elders. We can find those Shapeshifters. Whatever we need, we can find them. Prismari Command, just a very nice utility card here. Yeah, I do like this one. I think it's fine. I do like that it loots too, and does a little bit of damage, and it also takes out an artifact. So I think overall it's a very good 1v1. I wonder if if my creature count doesn't work out, I wonder if we take a Prismari command out. I do like that it creates treasures though. It's kind of nice with our gold span. It's kind of just an interesting card overall. But I do like our legendaries. I don't really want to cut the legendaries. I'd rather cut like a Prismari command or something over that, to be honest. But we can, this deck is just kind of, we're going to definitely play it at the LGS a lot more and, get more, see where exactly where we want it to be. So then we're going to go into our sorceries. So some of these are multi-phase cards like lands, which is fantastic. So we can use them as lands or spells. So you have Balaged Recovery. That will return a card from a graveyard to the hand, or it can be played as a tapped land. Then we have Shatterskull Smashing, Seagate Restoration, and Maria's Call. These are all just the suite of Zendikar Rising multi-phase cards that turn Timber Symbiosis we have to acquire. But this is some nice spot removal here. This will draw some cards in a pinch, and we can go through that heavy cost, but sometimes you have to do it. And Maria's Call, that's just another, we'll make some nice angels. So we'll plan appropriate for those and maybe play them as spells. Then we have nice card advantage here. Expressive Iteration is perfect. Rishkar's Expertise. We have, I think what I wanted to do here is I'm going to move, yes, this is fine. 3 visits in Nature's Lore. We definitely want those. So those are just our Forest Tutor cards. So those are very nice. Instead of, of course, I'm playing, we don't have access to these particular cards in Arena, unfortunately. So these are nice little treasures here. Nature's Lore is 3 visit. They bring out an untapped forest, so our shock lands would be nice. Usually, if we don't have need for it, we could always just put in the Triome. Whew, so good. Escape to the Wilds, what a card. Just fantastic with Aragorn too. We get to get that kind of landfall synergy too. It's fantastic. Time Warp. This is probably like our strongest card and can really get us out of binds sometimes. Homestead Courage. This is our just fantastic with our Vesuvian Duplimancy. 4th Iralingus. This is a nice one for giving Aragorn or giving us the Monarch. We can play it on 0/2 and we still get the 1/1 creature token with Aragorn on the battlefield and the damage. So 4th Iralingus is fantastic. Faithless Looting here is just what a card, for us to put cards in our graveyard, which is nice. We have some escape cards and we have some flashback cards, so we can get value from that. Now moving on to our artifacts. So we have 6 artifacts here. We have the One Ring, the Great Henge, Soul Ring, and I just want to make a point. And I don't know how many of you are experienced with Aragorn, but what makes Aragorn so fantastic, in my opinion, is that I think you need to imagine a card like Selvala and playing it on curve with Aragorn. So imagine just having Selvala out on a normal scheme. Maybe you have a Mana Dork you played on turn 2, and then perhaps we get it. We may have to use it to cast Aragorn on turn 3. So be it. Okay, so we've done that. Now on turn 4. We play any green spell. We get Aragorn up to 9 power. Then you can see the power of Aragorn with Selvala, Aragorn with the Great Henge. These cards that benefit from high powered creatures. You can see the appeal there, and you can see how explosive it could be. You can have some really interesting turns. You can lock out opponents pretty fast, actually. It is kind of a spectacle, right? So Soul Ring, oh my god, that card's so good, right? Even in a multicolored deck, it's still good. Mox Amber, and just great with our legendaries, and the Lotus Petal just to give us that extra boost. And then Embercleave, it's fantastic with Aragorn, again in that commander lethal. So the artifacts are extremely strong in this deck. Okay. So then we're going to be playing 4 colors. So Leyline Binding is going to give hopefully we're going to be able to play this on the cheap, for 1, nice removal. It's going to be always cheap though, no matter what, right? We won't have all the colors. So suppose we're playing it, we'll be playing it for 2, which is still fine. It's an edict, right? So we can just take out something. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. fantastic for our looting strategy, for our flashback cards. We also have Uro, so building that graveyard can sometimes be very beneficial. The treasures, of course, are always welcome from the Shaman. Vesuvian Duplimancy, this is one we just love. We have some of those single target spells. So, getting those ones and getting it with Aragorn, it's going to be very nice for us, and we're going to be making more copies of Aragorn. That's really the point of the deck, is to make extra copies. That's definitely a win con for us. Bard class, this is probably one of our strongest cards. Like, typically when I play on Arena, if I have this card in my opener, I'm usually going to win, just because we have all the legendaries, and this taking the cost out of the legendaries is just amazing, and you just can kind of storm off. It's really devastating for the opponent. So Bard class is just fantastic. The level 3, if you can get to there too, that's just insane too. It's just like you're just storming off. So that's why we have the Skrelv. So I wanted to make sure, like, why not give her the runes over Skrelv? Well, Skrelv is a legendary, and on level 3, if we play Skrelv, we're going to basically be able to keep, that would be a legendary spell, and we'd be getting the benefit. We'd be keeping that, the gas going with that exiling the top 2 cards, so it's very cool. Showdown of the Skull is just a great multicolored spell. It's going to give us a ton of gas. Then it has that chapter 2 and 3 where we're putting counters on stuff. This will be Smothering Tithe. So those are that. Now the last thing I want to talk about is the lands, and so when we move into like a more eternal format, what I would say that you can pretty much play like a similar mana base now. Now that the Khans of Tarkir came out on MTG Arena, you can go ahead and spend the wild cards. You can get those fetch lands. So it's fantastic, right? You have access to all of them. So I think most of them, at least. I'm not sure. Maybe at least 5, right? I hope so. Something like of that nature, where you just have the fetch lands available now. So it's great. So overall, what I would say is the mana base here is good, and I'm playing a little more basics in this EDH one, just because I'm playing like Prismatic Vista, and I want to be able to get the landfall synergy going. I'd say I play less pathways in favor of the commander cards, the dual lands that come in untapped if you have 2 or more commander opponents, in favor of those. And then I'm still playing the pain lands just because they're nice duels. So really going for more of the duels, like just like a Battlefield Forge, over the pathways. So I think we're playing 2 pathways, and we're definitely leaning on the green side. So the Crag Crown pathway can do green-red. The Bark Channel pathway can do green-blue. So we really, because we have our mana dorks, right? We want to be able to play those on turn 1. So we're really favoring the the green mana base. So like our pathways are definitely geared for the green. All right, so very simple, right? Battlefield Forge, these are just kind of the duels that are pain lands. So we're going to play that suite. We have our fetch lands here, and then our shock lands accordingly. That will be great for our fetch lands. Additionally, we have those commander lands we were talking about. And then we have our mountains here. We have a couple basics that we're going to be playing. There's training centers. See how they basically, we benefit from commander. They come untapped. Sparta's headquarters, just fantastic as well. These are just the triomes. So Jetmir's Garden, Wooded Foothills, the fetch lands. And you can see this is kind of, there's our Otawara. We have all our shocks here. We're playing a Plaza, which is very nice for our legendaries. Ragran Triumph, we have all the Triumphs in here. We do play some fast green and red lands, like a Copperline Gorge. It's fantastic. We love green-red. So we're definitely going to play the Copperline Gorge. There's no doubt. So, yep. So then you'll see there's the pain lands as well. And then a command tower, more pain lands. So yeah, it's just a nice mana base. There's Prismatic Vista and the Temple Garden. So we have a good battle plan. And yeah, the deck is just ready to go. So go ahead and go do a goldfish on it. Let it roll. We'll see how it goes for you. I'm so excited, guys. I hope you all have a great day, and we'll check you on the next video. Bye.